Hi Aquarius, welcome to your August 2022 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. Just a little disclosure. I did pull a couple of cards that came out together for the first, for the center cards. But then the next thing I pulled, I didn't remember because I got kind of like distracted. So I didn't know what position that was supposed to be for. So I just scrapped it because I just want to lay out the cards like this, so when I pull something, I know exactly what I'm intending to do. Oh my God, I keep getting some of the same cards, not all of them. Well, that's a nice change of pace, the moon card. Ooh, two mystical cards, and you have a full moon in your sign, so there you go. I've been getting like these twos of pentacles, twos of wands. The heart of the matter is the two of pentacles. This can be making a decision between two jobs, maybe two job offers. This can be working overseas. That's why they have a ship there over a body of water. So that might entail having to move to another country. But it can be juggling two things like school and your job, two jobs. Maybe you're starting your own business and you're keeping your day job, something along those lines. Two relationships. God, does this look familiar though? Those two top cards, I think I got them in the same position. In the past position, we have the Page of Cups and the fish jumping out of the cup. I had something with this. I don't remember what sign it was. That would be funny if it was Leo, though, because that's your opposite sign. The fish jumping out of the cup indicates that this could be connected to Pisces. And there's just this idea of the person who is maybe believing something that somebody is telling you, and it's rather naive of you to believe that. If you're an Aquarius, you could have inner planets in Pisces very easily. The moon can be any sign, and Pisces could be one of them, but I'm talking about like Mercury and Venus and Mars. And because of that, sometimes Aquarius people can be very gullible in their relationships in particular, because that's where this can all come out, where you're just kind of believing whatever you're hearing. And that's not to say that there's something wrong with a person who is believing someone and trusting someone, but they have to give you good reason to trust them, is the bottom line. And if somebody is like telling you ridiculous things, that doesn't make sense. That almost seems like being deluded. And a lot of Aquarius people aren't the jealous type, so you might be willing to live and let live, even if you suspect that somebody's cheating on you, because the Two of Pentacles, that can indicate someone juggling two sexual relationships, perhaps, because Pentacles can be the body, so there might be that sense of it being quite physical in nature. And perhaps you believe that that person really does love you because they're telling you so. The higher message is the Knight of Swords. So this is more of an empowered sense of yourself, or a feisty sense of yourself. The air energy is represented by swords. So it's the sharp intellect with this card, but also the bold communication. Um, I don't know if I would say that also this is a card of a lawyer. In, other professions like, yeah, that can be like professions that involve communication, lawyer, teacher, writer. And with the Page of Cups, if you're starting some kind of project that's more of a creative project, like a creative writing versus a journalist or something like that, then it can be something new for you because you might have always been more of that linear type, although Aquarius is very intuitive. So that's not a difficult thing to jump into. Or if it's something spiritual, like a healing type of thing, you can easily transition into that. However, um, that's what I'm getting this over and over again in different kind of varieties of the way that it's coming out. And the reason that this is so important is because people are starting to really believe that they have the right to be happy, doing what they're doing, or meaningful, having something that feels meaningful to them. And I think this is a natural outgrowth of the shutdown and how people were kind of, everything just ground to a halt. And people could no longer just do whatever it is. They were forced to just kind of sit with themselves, and that was kind of an eye-opening experience for probably a lot of people. It was probably like the red pill moment of their lives. But anyway, if this is relationship related, you may be deciding to call a lawyer, or you need to call a lawyer, because you have been allowing this to go on. And what happens, this deck doesn't show that, but in the Rider-Waite deck, they show the juggling action. When somebody's juggling something, and I'm not saying necessarily you, maybe you're with somebody who's doing the juggling, you and another person. It's not, maybe you're not possessive. Maybe that isn't the part that bothers you, but it's the up in the air quality. When something's, juggling, it isn't really stable. There's not that sense of it continuity because someone is trying to have it both ways, if you will. You're going to have a full moon in your sign, and I was going to say October, August 11th, and this is going to be at 19 degrees of Aquarius. And for some of you, it will be in the first house of the self. For others, it will be in the 12th house. And, for those of you who are later degrees, it'll be in your, it'll actually be in your 12th house. And like the last 10 degrees of the sign, so to speak. And for those people in the 12th house, this can be a karmic situation that, transcends whatever situation that's occurring in your life right now. And that can include a person that maybe you have this problematic relationship, but it's about more than this lifetime. And it's been kind of a difficult thing because you may feel this sense of familiarity with this individual, but you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do with it. And it could be as simple as that you need to recognize that this person isn't good for you. It doesn't have to be something mystical, magical, where it's like, oh yeah, we're twin flames, and yeah, sometimes we have terrible situations, but really we're meant to be, and all that. Maybe there are some examples where that would be true, but unfortunately I think some people use these types of terms like twin flames to excuse bad relationships, and you don't want to do that either. So and people who have the full moon falling in the first house, this can be like your um, awareness of something that needs to end within yourself or end within your life as a whole. And that will vary from one Aquarius person to the other. It might be the way that you deal with relationships, because remember that when there's a full moon, the sun is opposing it, and the sun in this case would be in that 7th house. And that means that either there's something you're doing in relationships that's not good for you, but it could be also not good for that other person. And that could be, in some cases, the relationship might have to end because you can't control that other person, or the relationship can improve because you can control yourself and you vow to do better if you know that you have been kind of remiss in some way. What crosses you is the Hierophant. This is a card of tradition and conformity, and this is not typical for Aquarius, but there are some Aquarians who are more conservative. People who know about astrology tend to know that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and that's about being like waving your freak flag, being, nonconformist, but they don't know, some people don't know that Saturn is also a ruler of Aquarius, and that can make the person still believe that they have to conform to something. And it really doesn't matter if you have a side to yourself that's rebellious or wants to be a nonconformist. You can still have certain conditioning that makes it hard for you to kind of go in a way that isn't tried and true. Or if this is about career change or job change, if you work in a corporate environment, I always think of the Hierophant as a corporate environment because of hierarchy and things like that. You may feel like it's too tempting to stay because of the money. What's coming in is the Moon card. This is really about your creativity and intuition being at the forefront. Of course, as I stated, as a timing card, that you will have the moon in your sign, and that may give you clarity. It might shine a light on something that you have not been really thinking about as to your dilemma that the Two of Pentacles represents. And also the moon can bring out, the full moon can bring out secrets, and also the moon can be like that there are half-truths being floating around, that you might be told something that is not completely true, and you're trying to decipher, read between the lines and things like that. Well, the outcome card is the High Priestess, and that is connecting to your higher self. And all of these things, these are just like kind of buzzwords. Really, because Aquarius is such an intuitive sign, this could be as simple as a gut reaction. It might not be some kind of elaborate ritual where you're tuning into your higher self. It might be that you just be still and know. That's like a phrase for this particular card, and that's how you get that confirmation. Because you might be trying to consult the person that you suspect, and they're like the moon card. They're deceptive. They're not going to tell you the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth. And you don't need somebody to tell you something that you already know, in other words. And that can be freeing for you, because maybe you've been in the dark and you need to come to the light about something. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius, and the full moon can be that catalyst for that. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.